Okay, it's Stan again. This will be my part two continuation on the adrenals. Sorry I was rushing through there. I thought I can get it done, and I think I have a 15-minute limit. I don't like to go too far past there. But then I decided this is too important to just rush through. So I'll go back to number one here. We already looked at the adrenal list. Um, Talked about two and three, so I don't think I need to repeat that. Um, Number five is where I left off. During the dump, which happens after you have all your amalgams removed, um, I had kidney issues, and I went from like stage 0 or whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, like in a matter of a couple months. I was very scared, didn't know what was going on. Of course, the doctor had no clue. The specialist said he doesn't have a test for what I told him I thought it was, so he can't diagnose that. But keep doing what I'm doing to detox because my kidneys started to reverse after the dump, sometime through the dump, and as I was detoxing. He was very surprised to see my kidneys improving. So I guess my comment there is, I see so many people, even young, that pass early, in their 30s, 40s. You don't even know you probably have kidney issues. My doctor didn't even really notice. I kind of had puffy ankles a little bit, mostly from my socks. And I just mentioned it to him casually, and he said, "Well, look at your blood work." And he saw, oh my God, look at this. You got kidney disease. I said, what? So that's how that can go. So mercury affects the adrenals, and many symptoms come from the adrenals being compromised. I talk a lot about root cause, so I repeat myself over and over. I just see so many people saying, oh, it's definitely this or it's definitely that. And one thing I learned in this is it's almost like nothing is really definite until you kind of go through about three other things that you thought were definite. And you finally find out, oh, wait a minute, you know what? It was really the mercury, Um, Mercury affects the adrenals, which create all these symptoms that we already looked at in part one. And again, most people don't understand the concept of a true root cause. Like a lot of people say, geez, my stomach got wrecked because I was taking all these pain pills for, I had pain and headaches and whatever. So they say the root cause was the headache. Well, the root cause is what was causing the headache. You're not supposed to just have headaches. That's just one example. As far as adrenals go, there is a test. I had it done. You get your saliva sampled. I think it's like 4 times a day at certain times. Very simple. You do it at home. And then we turn that into a lab, and then they tell you your adrenal function during those times of the day. You're supposed to have a certain amount of boost at certain times of day, like in the morning. My understanding is that's what wakes us up, is we get an adrenal boost to say, hey, get up. I would wake up, but still feel like I was half dead. That's how bad my adrenals were. My test literally showed like I had like no adrenal function. So I was just felt I was crashed all day long. And then I drank coffee, Coffee's horrible for adrenals, even if you're a healthy, non-toxic person. It just makes the body respond to the coffee, and it makes your adrenals respond to the coffee, which they shouldn't need to be doing that. They're already responding to a million things already, and then you throw coffee at them, which is like a stimulant. And so now they got to kind of bring you back down to not being so stimulated. You're better off with no coffee than trying to get that boost of energy. Many people that quit drinking coffee that think they really need it, the first thing they'll say is, "Yeah, I feel so much better not drinking coffee." Then you wonder why there's coffee outlets everywhere. Energy drinks. I hope most of y'all realize those are really bad for us. But notice how many people need them to function. I mean, even like young kids, teenagers, feel they need more energy. Why did the system even create energy drinks. Obviously, some will say, well, because everybody had low energy. Yeah, well, why did they why did they know that? I guess it's just upsetting to see even so many young people drinking this stuff, because it's just full of bad chemicals, and it's not getting to the root of the problem. Again, probably a detox situation would get to the root of the problem. After the dump phase, my adrenals got more normal. They took several years to keep improving. Even now, I'm like 6 or 7 years after all my amalgams were removed, and after that first year of dumping, I'm still seeing improvement. I played drums. At one point, I had to quit because I just could not. I didn't have the energy. I didn't sweat. My skills, my coordination was all messed up, like an MS type thing. Um, now I can play 2 days in a row and still have decent energy. I know guys that play with me that, they're guitar players, whatever, they talk about not wanting to play 2 days in a row just from their age. I'm 62, almost going to be in a couple of weeks, and I'm playing drums, and I can get through 2 days now without worrying that I will just crash at some point. It was my biggest fear. I just run out of steam. I don't know if you all feel the same way. We all seem to do the same kind of things. We cancel out on things. We just don't want to do things. Part of it's mental, emotional, but part of it's just knowing physically we just can't do it. So I put this note in here. You're really healing when you aren't constantly researching symptoms and looking for supplements that may work and worrying about if you have the energy to do things. It's a very emotional kind of healing. I always tell people you'll probably have like a post-traumatic stress disorder situation, because again, like 2-3 years, I was still, everything I did, I thought I had that mindset of, can I make it? Will I get through it? That kind of thing. And most normal people don't think that way, right? That are healthy. They just do things. So number 13, do you think having adrenals being off kilter would affect other hormonal balance? In my opinion, yes. Adrenals are a hormonal thing and gland, and yes, everything. Your body's always trying to be in balance. If the adrenals are off, the body tries to create energy another way, but then that compromises that system. And if the person gets too far toxic, at some point the body just can't keep trying to work by finding other ways to give you energy, or whatever the case is, and eventually you're just going to crash. You don't want to get to that point. For me, somewhere around age 30, I really started to feel sluggish. I thought, oh, is this how you feel as you get older? But like everybody around me seemed to have energy. Okay, and I didn't understand what was wrong with me. I was born with a different kind of heart valve, which is probably related to MTHFR, which I discuss. I thought, oh, maybe it's a heart issue, not realizing that the bottom line was it was all adrenals, and it was all from mercury. I kind of caught on as I got to around age 40, when I start finding out I had amalgams and this mercury thing might be real. I had some chelation treatments by IV, which is totally not recommended anymore, but back then didn't know any better. Felt an immediate relief from all my symptoms. I thought, wow, I guess I do have a heavy metal problem. But back then, at around that age, I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue. I literally could almost not get out of bed in the morning. Somehow I made it to work. I made it through work. I just struggled, dragged myself. Just very, very hard, very difficult. What surprised me was the doctor said, there's no cure, there's no remedy. And I thought, that makes no sense. There's got to be a cause, and there's got to be a cure, and there's got to be something I can do about it. But again, going back from this 30 to 40 age range, to me that was how the amalgam toxicity was slowly draining into my body. My levels of mercury were building up. And, I got to a tipping point, so to speak, 42, somewhere around there, where, man, I was really, really not doing well. And that's when I found the IV chelation. Again, I'm not recommending that, but that got me good. I often think maybe that's also partly why my kidneys went into a failure thing. You just don't know. You don't know that there's not going to be a down the road damage because of what you did 10 years earlier or something like that. So, number 16, after looking at all these symptoms, do you see how one thing removed can help reverse all these issues? And see how difficult it can be to diagnose. I mean, you look at all those symptoms, your doctor can literally give you dozens and dozens of diagnoses. I didn't go to a doctor once I realized it was mercury, because I realized that's all he's going to do, or she's going to do. And they're not going to give me any answers. So I started researching how to fix the root of the problem. I made a mistake. I was removing a lot of amalgams, and I got into some personal issues. I had to stop that financially, for financial reasons, etc. I was feeling a little better. I had one amalgam left, and it was just killing me. It caught up with me another 5 to 10 years later, and I finally removed that, and that's when I finally really started to heal. You can't really detox until you get all the amalgams out. So, I think I already mentioned 17, but all of us will try all these supplements to try to boost the energy, and like nothing works. Why? Because you didn't address the true root cause. Mercury's a real son of a gun the way it affects us. The aha moment for me was once you remove all your exposure and amalgams, you really start to reverse the symptoms and heal. It's like almost magic. And until then, like nothing worked. So that's kind of a really big takeaway, I guess, is to realize until you get to that root cause, you're not going to finally fix all the symptoms. Talked about kidney pain a little bit, which is all gone now. Just on what you can do to help with your energy, definitely look at the MTHFR. It's how we methylate, and mercury affects methylation the same way MTHFR does. So chicken or egg, which cause what? I'm not going to get into that. But B12 has to do with energy, and that's a supplement that I take to counter MTHFR or whatever mercury may be lingering in me. Other people suggest adrenal cortex. Licorice is another one. Just about most people, they find this doesn't really work. You either need to take so much of it, which you almost can't afford, or it just doesn't really work. I found a very hard thing to help adrenals. The only real help is to take away what's hurting the adrenals, and that's the mercury toxicity. So, sorry I kind of jumped around all over the place a little bit. I hope I hit some key points for you, and just realize how important adrenals are. Just look at that symptom list and say, wow, man, it really can affect me. And maybe you're sitting there going, wow, that's every symptom I have too. And again, it's different levels. You might have one huge symptom and a few of the little others. You might have more physical, more emotional, more mental. Everyone's different. But generally, we all seem to have a lack of energy kind of thing. So, all right, well, please like and comment, subscribe. The more you like and comment, the more these videos get put around so people could find them. All right, take care. Thanks for listening, and please give me some ideas on things you'd like to have me discuss.